The core objective of the Young Lives study, it is a study of poverty in children's lives. All aspects of poverty not defined as monetary poverty, but really looking at multidimensional poverty. Young Lives is probably the only longitudinal study which ran parallel to the Millennium Development Goals that is able to actually comment on what happened to lives of the poorest children in 4 countries, which was spread across 4 continents. In Young Lives, one of the key guiding questions that constantly we try to look at is inequalities across various domains. So whether it is nutrition, whether it is education, whether it is labor outcomes or well-being, how are inequalities playing out? Are inequities decreasing or are they increasing across time? So those are the big guiding questions that we look at. Ultimately, what we are looking at is answering some of the key policy questions in each of the 4 countries. When we began the study, India and Vietnam, the older cohort children performed almost at the same level when we tested them at the age of 8. As they've turned 19 in round 4, the gaps between Vietnam performance and Indian performance has greatly increased. Now, what is it that has supported those children from the poorest quartile in Vietnam to do better than the children in India? And I think that's what's very interesting for policymakers. Is there something that works? Of course, these contexts are different and we can't just draw from one and believe that it will work in another, but there are some lessons to be learned from each of the countries. The Child Labour Act was talking about allowing children at less than 14 years of age in the country not to work outside for pay, but to continue working within their homes as being okay. When we did an analysis of our time use data, which Young Lives collects, we found that if children worked more than 3 hours a day, even within their household, on domestic chores, it had a detrimental effect on secondary school completion. Now that was very strong evidence to actually influence the ministry and to be able to say, don't just say it's okay for children to work at home. You will also have to make sure that you will guide parents to say that, more than X number of hours is going to be detrimental for them. So this is the kind of work I think we feel is important for Young Lives to contribute to, because no other study is able to draw out these learnings. In 15 years, I think for the first time in countries, we have now people saying we need more longitudinal evidence. I think that is probably one of our greatest contributions. When they see that Young Lives has been such a success in being able to coordinate and do this across 4 countries with 2 cohorts, and now there is interest in the countries, doing more of this, I think that is probably the best legacy we can leave.